Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get started here. As with any great event, we are going to have Father Austin Collins start us with a blessing.
Thank you. Let us pray. Good and loving God, we come before you today thankful, sir, for so many good gifts, especially the blessings of Bill Hurd, Jeff Jackson, Digger Phelps, Tricia Sloma, Hannah Storm, Bryant Young, the Noble Kizer family. We honor these great people today. We ask you to continue to bless them. Keep us always mindful today of all those who go without, and give our world much needed peace. And we ask this all in God's name. Amen.
Well, welcome to the 9th Annual Spirit of Sports Awards. It's always wonderful to be with the Notre Dame family and grateful to be with so many talented and wonderful award winners and all to gather here in the name of Knute Rockne. You know, when I was driving down yesterday and then meeting some of the award winners last night, I was thinking just how there's so many little things that happened in our life that maybe brought us here. And then back when my dad was growing up, a man, Clem Crow, had been at Xavier University, where my dad grew up in Cincinnati, and they had introduced, and he then went and called the coach at Notre Dame from a former Rockne player, told my dad about Notre Dame, where my dad came and ended up playing golf here. And it's been in our family ever since. So things like that. Or how about Alex Wilson decides, I'm going to go see a guy down in Memphis and see what kind of runner it is. And Bill Hurd ends up coming here, and then his son. Or Digger Phelps, a young coach out on the East Coast, decides, I'm going to write a letter to Ara Parsegan and see what happens here. Seeds are planted, and then he's thinking about all the lives that he's touched. And Bryant Young was just talking to. He comes here, he's thinking he's going to play football. Well, he meets his wife, falls in love, changes the course of his career in other ways. And then Coach Jackson, I learned last night that came here in high school for a debate session. And that planted the seeds for him to come back and have a legendary coach career here. And then Tricia Sloma, who had so many Notre Dame connections, and yet she decides to do a story on Knute Rockne. And 8 months later, and after all interviews later, she's looking at this masterpiece and becomes an expert on Rockne. And that brings her to here today. So many different things lead us, and God, how he guides us to all be here today. And speaking of a leader, I'm here to introduce Allison Hayes, who's going to be our host again for the 3rd straight year. So we're grateful to have her energy and her smile and her experiences of interviewing most of our award winners throughout her career. If you don't know her, she's been covering the Fighting Irish for over 20 years now, from the studio, from the sidelines, and you can catch her on Saturday mornings over a game day at ABC 57 kickoff. So, and she's also doing a podcast I just learned with a couple Notre Dame legends, with Reggie Brooks and Alan Pinkett. So that's got to be a lot of fun. And she is also an award winner. Every year she's tells me about another award she's won, and this one was for a story she did last year on a 93-year-old super fan who got to see her first game. So again, great to have Allison back with us to lead us through the show today with her great energy and personality. So thanks, Allison. Take it over.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you to Jim. They do such an incredible job with this event every year, and I'm just so honored to be able to be a part of it, a small part of it. But I promise to keep things moving, keep things light, and have some fun here. It's a wonderful event. You're going to have a great time. And when we come to this, and you look back and you think, and you see the exhibit here, and as a reminder, you're here today, you are welcome to go in and have a free tour of the Knute Rockne exhibit here at the History Museum. It is incredible and just so neat, so many neat relics of history and of the past. But when you think of Knute Rockne, you think of so many things, legacy and history and tradition and leadership, but he was so much more than just a coach. And that is why they have this event, is to honor these people, the beautiful people that are in our crowd here today. each one of you has a little piece of that Knute Rockne characteristics that we want to celebrate and have be a part of this today, in the past, and of course, moving forward in the future. At this time, I would love to bring up the executive director of the Knute Rockne Memorial Society, Jim LaFave, who is also an accomplished author and a historian and absolutely an expert when it comes to Notre Dame history. And he is a huge part and the reason we are all here today.
Thank you, Allison. It's a pleasure to be here, and what a beautiful day we have. Thanks all of you for coming. Allison teases me sometimes. She says, you're going to get up there and personally introduce about half the crowd. And it may seem that way, but that's the quality of the people we have under this tent today. It's just unbelievable. We start by talking about Rockne, and as Allison mentioned, he was multifaceted. And our program today represents, and these are all authentic Notre Dame photos from the 1920s, football, track and field, hockey and basketball. And he was that and more. The exhibit is phenomenal. It was our great pleasure to serve as a historical consultant, and they did a great job with it. We want to thank Brian Harding and the entire staff at the History Museum for all their cooperation in putting on this event. I mean, they literally helped us pull it together, and it's a great venue. We're so happy to be here, and we're so happy you're here with us. We want to welcome a representative of the Rockne family, and this is a privilege that we don't have every year, but we are delighted this year to have with us the granddaughter of Coach Knute Rockne. Please join me in welcoming Jean Ann Rockne. Now, Rockne was known as a traveler. He probably logged more miles than any American of his day, and he took his teams all over the place too. His mantra was, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And so that resulted in a lot of long trips to various places. And I feel that from that, he gained a sense of what a guest is, what a visitor is. And he imbued that into the whole Notre Dame community. How do we welcome our guests? And he made it clear that they were athletic opponents and not enemies. And what a lesson that would be for us today. Back then, there were things like pep rallies that honored the visiting team. When Georgia Tech came here in 1924, it was such a big deal for a team as prestigious as Georgia Tech to make the trip to Notre Dame that they brought the Georgia Tech team into the pep rally, and each player got a rousing ovation from the Notre Dame fans. The other thing that was common back then was post-game banquets. The opposing team wasn't always in a hurry to get out of town. Maybe the train didn't come for a while, but they would have post-game banquets honoring both teams. So a tremendous sense of sportsmanship and honoring the other that Rockne passed down and that we have today. In that spirit, we'd like to welcome our friends from Purdue who are with us today. And in a few minutes, you're going to be learning about one of the great figures in the leadership of Purdue athletics. But for now, please join me in welcoming the current Director of Leadership and Alumni Engagement with the Purdue for Life Foundation. Now, you may know him a little better as the former All-American quarterback, College Football Hall of Famer, and Indianapolis Colt, Mark Herman. And of course, we have Notre Dame royalty with us today as well, as you would expect. We have two of the three captains of the 1973 national champions. Very delighted to be joined today by defensive back Mike Townsend and tight end Dave Ghost Casper. We have with us the 5th leading scorer in the history of Notre Dame men's basketball. And he just recently returned to the university as general manager for men's and women's basketball. Please welcome Mr. Pat Garrity. And we're delighted to have with us and very excited, looking forward to have the new head coach of Notre Dame hockey. Please welcome Coach Brock Sheehan. Now, it's our tradition to welcome all former Rockne Award winners who are with us today. So we have the 2018 Communicator Award winner, Mr. Bob Nagel. The 2019 Leadership Award winners from the great Play Like a Champion educational program, Kristen Sheehan and Clark Power. From 2021, the Legacy Award winner, Phil Kraus. Also from 21, where we met in Chicago, we have a great individual who's served the St. Rita's community there literally for decades. And back a few years, he served alongside a fellow by the name of Father Bob Prevost, who we know better today as Pope Leo. He is literally a legend at St. Rita's. Please welcome the Leadership Award winner, Coach Jay Standring. And also from Chicago. He was the Persistence Award winner, but he could have won in any number of categories. The great friend of the Rockne Society and great personal friend, Mr. Peter Chiavarelli. From 2 years ago, 2013, Distinguished Service Award winner, Assistant Director of the Notre Dame Band and Head of Jazz Studies, Mr. Larry Dwyer. And the 2023 Communicator Award winner, longtime Notre Dame broadcaster, Mr. Jack Nolan. Now at this time, we also like to remember those who can no longer be with us. First up is Mr. Dick Panther of Naples, Florida and Kansas City, Missouri. Dick became a great friend of the Rockne Society and a great personal friend. This gentleman played baseball and basketball at Notre Dame, graduated in 1964, went on to play some minor league baseball, and he accumulated so many stories that he wrote an autobiography that's 800 pages long. And I'm an author, and I had to respect that. You know, that blew me away. But that's how full of a life Dick Panther lived, and we remember him at this time. From Cincinnati, and he's already been mentioned by his son Mike, Denny Need. And Denny was also a great supporter of the Rockne Society, associated with St. X there in Cincinnati, one of the great Catholic high schools in the country. And we remember Mike's dad, Denny, very well, and pass along our thoughts to the family. Then we have, just a few weeks ago, the Notre Dame hockey community lost a member, 13-year-old Rudy Chapman. Rudy was an honorary member of the Notre Dame hockey team. He bonded with the team, and he became their great fan and inspiration, facing incredible medical challenges with courage and grace, a joy for life. And as Coach Sheehan put it, a vibrant personality with an infectious smile. That was Rudy. You can see from these pictures, the Notre Dame hockey players of the last few years just love this kid. They learn from him. They gain perspective. Now, they might be facing a tough classroom assignment, or maybe they lost a hockey game. But Rudy helped put it all in perspective. Every player who passed through here the last few years would tell you that their life was richly blessed by knowing Rudy and being around him. And today, we are absolutely blessed to have his parents with us, themselves the face of grace, courage, and faith. Please join me in welcoming Tony and Laura Chapman. Now, Rockne had a particular gift of seeing things in others what they didn't see in themselves. I mean, he was many things, of course. He was a motivator, a teacher, a leader, a communicator, entertainer, businessman, but ultimately he excelled in human relations. And he saw things in people that they hadn't yet discovered in themselves. One of those was a basketball player from Plymouth, Indiana, who served in the U.S. Marines during the World War I, and then came up to South Bend. He was working at the South Bend YMCA when Rockne spotted him. And he asked young Noble Kizer, might he be interested in enrolling at Notre Dame and coming out for football. So here's a guy who had not played, I don't believe they had high school football at his school at the time, had not played any football, but Rockne saw something in him. And Noble Kizer worked his way up year after year, improving a little bit each year, to the point where he was expected to be the backup for the 1924 team. And when the regular starting right guard was unable to go, he took on the challenge. He stepped up and he played. He became one of the famous 7 mules that played in front of the Four Horsemen in 1924. They all go undefeated at 10-0, hang some huge losses on some of the best teams in the country, and are voted unanimously as Notre Dame's first consensus national champions after winning the Rose Bowl. All 11 of those players, the Four Horsemen and the 7 Mules, were seniors at Notre Dame in 1924. And in the fall of 1925, they were college football coaches, all of them. That's owing to Rockne's, the team's fame and Rockne's personal fame and connections. Noble Kizer went to work as the line coach at Purdue that fall in 25, working under head coach Jimmy Phelan, former Notre Dame quarterback. And for the next 5 years, he was Phelan's right-hand man, and then acceded to the head coaching position in 1930. And for the next 7 years, he guided Purdue to one of their greatest periods of success. 2 Big Ten titles, a .750 winning percentage, incredible. He also served as athletic director and would have probably been in both roles much longer before some health problems had led to his early death in 1940. But he is certainly and undoubtedly a person worth honoring. He established, a great record at Purdue and something to honor yet to this day. So at this time, we would like to present the 2025 Legacy Award to the family of Noble Kizer. Lisa Kizer McDonald, please come up.
Thank you, Jim. I just wanted to say on behalf of the entire Kizer family, we have 3 generations with us here today. We have 2 tables right over here. I want to say that we're all honored to be a part of this moment. And I want to thank Jim and the Rockne Society for not only giving this wonderful tribute to my grandfather, but also to help keep his legacy alive. It means a lot to all of us. Thank you.
All right, well, let's get this party started, get the ball rolling here. Just to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what's going to happen, I'm going to take us through and I'll announce each name and their award, and then we'll play a video, and then they'll make their way up. I'll talk a little bit about our guest and honoree, and then they'll have the opportunity to take a photo with their award and then to have a few words of their own to speak. I have been honored over the course of my career. 20 years, which I can't believe it's already been that many years here. Tricia, you can probably attest to that, right? You feel me? But it goes by so fast. And so many of you in this room, I've had the chance to talk with you, interview you, feature you, present you with an award, and have you on our show. We're going to have Mark Herman on our show tomorrow as one of our special guests on ABC 57 Kickoff. You can watch us 10 a.m. to noon. So don't forget to tune in. And we're right on campus, right outside of Purcell Pavilion, across from Notre Dame Stadium. You're welcome to come by, say hi, give us a wave. We really appreciate it. But what we are lucky to have here with us today, is that we've got two coaches. We've got athletes and musician, doctor, communicators, broadcasters, trailblazers, and all of them, just like Knute Rockne, are so much more than just those short titles. So without further ado, we will get it started, and we'll get things rolling with our first award winner, Bill Hurd, for our Inspiration Award.
Of Notre Dame, man, answer the cry, gathering foemen, fling to the sky. Fight, fight, fight!
When I became a practicing ophthalmologist, myself and 2 or 3 other local physicians would, on our own, put together trips, and mostly to Africa. We went to Madagascar twice. We went to Senegal, Dakar several times, and all over Africa, Brazil, China. So I did the surgery on her, and overnight, the next morning, they're still there. Like a lot of them would sleep outside. And we took the patch off her eye, and she started crying because she could see her granddaughter for the first time. And so it made me cry as well. So that's the kind of experience that I would see a lot of.
At this time, we invite Dr. Bill Hurd to make his way up here. Doctor was a football player and a record-setting All-American track star for the Irish. He found his true passion in helping others. He was a renowned ophthalmologist and philanthropist. He restored sight for thousands through a global cataract surgery in underserved regions of the world. He's also a medical innovator and inventor, an author, as well as an award-winning jazz musician, and he has played with some of the greats of his generation. Bill, we welcome you to our stage, and rather than talking, he's going to let his instrument do the speaking for him.
You know? Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Rather than say a whole lot, I want to ask you to. I just authored a book entitled Memphis to Madagascar. My publisher, Mr. Mike Brown, is sitting here. And if you would like a copy, a signed copy, on your way out, see Mr. Brown. Okay? Thank you very much.
That was incredible. That was a gift that he just shared with us. So thank you so much, Dr. Hurd. That was really, truly wonderful. Thank you. A tough act to follow, I'll say. Our next award recipient is Tricia Sloma, being presented with the Distinguished Service Award.
From WNDU-TV, this is 16 Morning News Now.
Good Thursday morning, everyone, and welcome to 16 Morning News Now. I'm Tricia Sloma.
For almost 33 years, she has woken up before dawn and helped you start your morning with a smile. We are talking about WNDU-TV's Tricia Sloma. Although she is from Ohio, a graduate of The Ohio State University, and an Ohio State fan, she is an adopted Hoosier and a Notre Dame fan, just not when they play her Buckeyes. Tricia is a dedicated member of the Michiana community, always available to MC a charity event or luncheon. She's known as Mama Sloma around the newsroom, mentoring young journalists, lending an ear, and
I know these faces.
Always available for a hug. Her dedication to the community through her storytelling is tireless. Her newscasts and in-depth coverage of the community that she calls home has won countless awards and multiple Emmy honors. In 2024, Tricia met the granddaughter of Knute Rockne, Jean Ann Rockne. Tricia was invited to tell the story of Rockne's reburial at Cedar Grove Cemetery on Notre Dame's campus. It also inspired her to lead the team at WNDU to produce an hour-long documentary about the 100th anniversary of Notre Dame's first national championship, Knute Rockne and a Century of Champions.
All the great teams overcome adversity, because in adversity, there's opportunity.
No matter what they did, we had an answer for it.
And I want to be able to count on the Notre Dame Spirit.
The desire to just be the best.
We're going to get up on the run. We're going to go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go that goal line.
Notre Dame football didn't start with Knute Rockne, but national championships did. He won 3 in his 13 seasons as head coach at the University of Notre Dame, and this year marks the 100th anniversary of Notre Dame's first national championship. There's so many incredible storylines from 1924. The wild popularity of player turned coach Knute Rockne. Notre Dame's run-in with the KKK. You may have heard of the 4 Horsemen, but what about the 7 Mules, the shock troops? From cross-country travel to hometown hype. All of this put a small Midwestern Catholic university on a path to national prominence that Irish fans celebrate to this day. I'm Tricia Sloma. Join us for Knute Rockne and a Century of Champions.
Welcome Tricia Sloma to the stage, the recipient of our Distinguished Service Award. And that was a really beautiful job on the piece there about Tricia. It gives you a real sense of how hard she works at her job on that documentary. Her job is so difficult in itself, and to put that much time and effort and heart into that piece is truly amazing. She won Edward R. Murrow Award for that. She has also been just awarded in every category I think you can win an award in, from Emmys to AP awards to you name it. She's probably won it. And I just would like to share one personal story with you, because she's also not just known as a broadcaster, she's very involved in our community, and she doesn't really have a day off, because she's always volunteering, emceeing, being a part of something, getting her hands dirty, and being a member, a true member of our community here in Michiana. And my favorite memory of Tricia, and first memory of Tricia, besides seeing you on TV, but was meeting her in person for the very first time. And it was back in 2012. My husband had passed away, and we had never met each other. And we were at a high school sporting event, and she comes out of the stands and chases me down, introduces herself, shares her condolences, and then gave me the biggest bear hug that I probably have ever had. And I needed it so very much in that moment, and it meant so very much to me. So if you will indulge me, when you come up here, I would love to give you a hug right back.
Thank you. That's just a little bit embarrassing and touching and remarkable. You're remarkable. I think we should give you a round of applause. Allison has to wrangle in this group a little bit, and it's not easy. Let's give a round of applause to Allison Hayes. Truly a leader in her own right here in this community. I look out to a lot of familiar faces here, and yes, 33 years at WNDU. We have 2 tables back there. And I have so much support. I want to thank them all for being here. It was in early 2024 when I was in touch with the granddaughter of Knute Rockne and given a story idea that I would need to keep secret, and I would need to be patient, and I would need to be very careful in how I reported it. And I sat on that story for a good 6 months or so before we were finally able to do it. And we broke that exclusive story that went national, and it was moving the grave of Knute Rockne to Cedar Grove Cemetery. It was just a month later that my colleague, Joshua Short, who voiced that somehow and surprised me, and I don't know how, Joshua Short did the story on the KKK coming to town and Notre Dame students and football players running them out of town. We sat together, put our heads together, and said, wow, what would have it been like in 1924 to live in South Bend? Could you imagine? So I did a little digging, and I talked to the author, Jim LaFave, and I asked the question, did that event have anything to do with a run for a national championship? And what I learned is that it had everything to do. So with the blessing, Gary Wardlaw, my news director, I could do a half-hour historical piece. He calls me in and says, no, I need an hour. And I said, well, for an hour, you're going to need to let me go interview Lou Holtz. And he said, okay. He made it happen. We had one day to get it done, there and back, and I got 30 minutes with the coach, and over drinks sometime, I'll tell you what happened. But he gave me one of the best interviews ever. It was truly remarkable. Yes, he remembered me from the days of Tricia and Gordy and the days that he used to come to WNDU to shoot the coach's show. So it was a lot of hard work, but that first half hour focuses on Knute Rockne, and the second half hour, the championship coaches that follow. And I couldn't do that second half hour without some truly remarkable interviews. You saw the family of Coach Leahy and also Dan Devine. Gary Sieber, you're here. I picked your brain a lot. He was in school that year of the national championship. But it was Maureen McFadden's interview with Ara Farsigian that I grabbed a hold of, and I said, oh my goodness, we've got to use that. So we did. And Maureen is here today. So thank you, Maureen. But I'm most appreciative of my team, and I'm going to call you out right there. We've got Don Schoenfeld, chief photographer, who worked with Maureen on that original story with Era, believe it or not, and he's still with us today. Tyler Woods is actually behind the camera right now. You can wave Tyler. Jesse Gideon, you're here, and Jesse is a tremendous help. She was a producer that did a lot of research, fact-checking for me, and the list goes on, but Ann Rockne, you touched it off. You, by contacting me and asking me if I could keep a secret, and then trusting me with your family's story, look what happened, and it's been a true honor. And now for my talent portion of today, I'm going to call forward Dr. Hurd yet again, because that was truly remarkable, and I thought, I got to go after that. Unbelievable. But my heart is very happy right now, and I'm so grateful, truly grateful, to WNDU, where I've worked for 33 years and will keep working. Thank you very much. I am very proud to be a part of that, and I think we need more women to stay in their roles. We need to be visible, not invisible. And I thank you, ladies. But I also want to thank just all of you and the award winners. It's a honor to be a part of this special group. Thank you for this honor today, and thank you for letting me be a part of the Rockne Society.
Congratulations. I keep forgetting I'm having this microphone. Congratulations to Tricia Sloma. Our next recipient is for the Leadership Award, and it goes to Jeff Jackson.
A two-time Spencer Penrose Coach of the Year award winner, Jeff Jackson's journey to hockey history began in Roseville, Michigan, growing up in the local rinks of a hockey-crazy town before attending Michigan State University. Upon graduation, Jackson's path was clear. A young man with a fervent excitement for the game and dedication to hockey, he jumped into coaching, beginning what proved to be a legendary career behind the bench. He spent 2 years in the North American Hockey League before arriving at Lake Superior State in 1986, a school of just 1,600 students located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. After 4 seasons, including an NCAA title in 1988, Jackson took the reins as head coach in 1990, where, with the Lakers, he saw his initial ascent among the college hockey ranks. During his 6-year tenure as bench boss for Lake Superior State, Jackson's teams appeared in 3 national championship games, winning the title in 1992 and 1994, along with 2 CCHA regular season championships and 4 CCHA Mason Cup trophies. In 1996, an opportunity arose to influence the development and advancement of the game in the United States when he was named the inaugural head coach of the newly formed USA Hockey National Team Development Program. Arriving at Notre Dame in 2005, Jackson's game plan for success was simple: build a culture of excellence and winning through attention to detail, professionalism, and most importantly, hard work. During a 20-year tenure behind the bench, the Fighting Irish made 12 NCAA tournament appearances, including 4 NCAA Frozen Fours and 2 national title game showings in 2008 and 2018. Between Notre Dame and Lake Superior State, Jackson racked up a dominating 601 wins at the collegiate level and retired at the conclusion of the 2025 season, a teacher of the game whose legacy and contributions will be felt for generations to come. Jackson's coaching foundation instilled a team-first culture that prioritized excellence on and off the ice.
Irish got to get the shots off here. They do. Save made. Rebound. Right wall middle. Score! The Irish are going to the championship game!
I just want to say congratulations to you on your tremendous career. So happy that I played a small part in it, and just so proud of you for all you've accomplished.
Hey, Coach Jackson, congratulations on an incredible career. It's been amazing to see all the incredible feats you've been able to accomplish over the years. It was an honor to be a small part of your time at Notre Dame, and it's truly great to see where you've left the program and the incredible heights that you've taken it to. Truly unprecedented. Congratulations, and go Irish.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame on St. Patrick's Day claim the Big Ten Hockey Playoff Championship in their first year in the league.
Coach Jay, congratulations on an outstanding career. You know, you had a tremendous impact on me as a player, as a person. You know, and our relationship is something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Coach, we just want to congratulate you on your 20-year career at Notre Dame. Obviously one of the best careers in college hockey and throughout hockey as a whole. We're really appreciative of all you've done for us, and we wish you well. Coach Jay, congrats on an incredible career. You've done so many incredible things, and you've been a father figure for so many of the guys that have played for you, and we've learned so much from you. And I can just say that you've helped me grow into a Notre Dame man, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So congrats again.
I just want to thank you so much for what you've done for Notre Dame hockey. I said this my freshman year, and I'm going to stick by it. You're like a grandfather figure. You know, we look up to you, we respect you, and you know, you've done a lot for us. You've done a lot for Notre Dame hockey. The reins are moving over, but you'll always be remembered. Go Irish.
Hey Jeff, you know, I hope you're doing well. I want to congratulate you on just a tremendous career. I don't know if people know the depth of your background and how influential you were, have been. You know, Michigan youth hockey onto Lake Superior, and your great run there, and taking over a proud and great program at Notre Dame, and giving up 20 years of your life to make it successful. And you're one of the best coaches all time in college hockey, and you have much more to give, much more to add. And I just wish you the best, and Notre Dame's a better place because of the years that you spent there. So best of luck going forward.
Notre Dame will escape. They'll get one more chance. Morrison, can they do it again? Morrison, shot, score! They do it again!
We welcome Jeff Jackson, our Leadership Award winner, to the stage. Beyond his 600 career wins, more than 600 career wins, I think what stands out and has made you so endearing to fans and to your players and to the people in our community and that have watched you and been a part of this is the way you interact, the way you speak. Soft-spoken, not a big rah-rah guy, at least from my own interactions with you. But when I've had the chance to talk with you, he was a little intimidating at first, the straight face, and and he was so respectful and made me feel comfortable and made me feel like I belonged there in that room with him, asking questions, and he always gave great answers. And I think you can watch that video and you can see the impact that he's had on his players, and that says everything that you need to know about him. So thank you for your contributions, and come on up here.
Thank you very much. Obviously, it's a tremendous honor to receive this award named after Knute Rockne. I want to thank Jim and the Rockne Society for this award. And I'd also like to congratulate the other award winners. What an incredible group. And a little intimidated to be up here after that saxophone performance. And a tremendous newscaster. I mean, it's a real pleasure to be here. And as I said, I mean, Knute Rockne, winning this award for leadership. I know one of his quotes was, "Leaders are like eagles. They don't flock. You find them one at a time." And in Rockne, Notre Dame found the one of all time. And, I like to believe that I emulated a lot of the things that he was respected for as a leader. First of all, obviously he was known for the tremendous impact that he had on college football, but at the innovation of the sport. But in reading Jim's book and, doing a lot of research on Knute Rockne, you learn about the impact that he had on his players' lives. And to me, that's what coaching's all about. Winning championships, winning rings is all important, but there's nothing more important than the impact
that you have on the lives of the people that you're working with on a day-to-day basis. And I always respected that and was grateful for that opportunity. And I love and respect every player that ever played for me over my 48-year career and 20 years here at Notre Dame. I started coaching only 2 years after I started my college hockey career and ended that career basically for injuries and eye injuries and different things. And I got into coaching right out of my sophomore year of college. I flew back and forth from Michigan State to Fraser Hockeyland with my roommate who was trying to get his hours as a pilot. That's when I started coaching, and it's hard to believe that it's almost 50 years ago that career started. And every moment has been a tremendous moment for me. It is about moments, and I've been so fortunate to have so many good moments in my career. And most of those moments were created by people that I knew and acquaintances that I grew up with. As I retired, I've taken the time to learn and appreciate and be grateful for the things that I have in my life, for the people that I've had in my life and have in my life. I have some of my best friends here today with me. They're my surrogate family, the Jasmines and Nardonis. I'm also grateful for the people that have impacted my life while here at Notre Dame, starting with the leadership of Father John Jenkins, who started and finished the same time I did in his career here as president. I'm grateful for Jack Swarbrick for everything he did for us in our program. And you know, when we were going to renovate the Joyce Center, he said, "Why are we doing that? We need to build a new facility." So I'm so grateful for the Compton family as well for helping us build that tremendous facility that we now call home. I'm grateful for Tom Nevela, who is our hockey administrator, who had a lot to do with the growth and success of our program. And I'm grateful for the staff that I had, tremendous support staff and an incredible coaching staff. Not many people can say that you're at one place for 20 years and you have the same people with you for the entire 20 years. Our trainer, Kevin Ricks, was with me for the entire time. My two assistant coaches, both Andy Slaggert and Paul Pooley, I consider two of my best friends. Andy's not here, but his wife, Tara, is here today. Incredible people you want around your student athletes on a day-to-day basis, that care, that know the Notre Dame values, that teach about integrity and character like Rockne did. You know, and to me, that was everything, being surrounded by such tremendous people. And I'm also grateful, and I'm tremendously grateful for, you know, our band director, Matt Merton, being here today, our hockey band director. And I get choked up here for the Chapmans being here today. Rudy Chapman was a huge part of our life over the last 10 years. And we were going to miss that young man so much for the fight. He was the Fighting Irish. He was what named Rudy. You'd get the impression that he was about being a fighter. And I'm so grateful for them being here today as well. My administrative assistant for so many years, Sue Hallis, being here as well today. I'm appreciative and grateful for her. You know, I'm such a fortunate person, and I'm so grateful for all that I've been given in my life. But my time at Notre Dame I'm more grateful for that than anything in my life. The people, the incredible environment at the University of Notre Dame. What Rockne was all about was developing character and building men. And I feel that, you know, if I could contribute in that way in my time here, I'm so very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today. And I respect so much for what Rockne represented. And it's that much more of an honor to have my name attached to this award. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your day. And go Irish.
Our next award is our Communicator Award, and I am going to read some of this so that I don't mess it up, but to talk about one of the most famous faces in probably in recent years of Notre Dame alumni, it would be Hannah Storm, class of 1983. She is an award-winning journalist, producer, director, and pioneer in the field of sports broadcasting for women. Hannah was the first woman in American TV history to act as the main network host of a major league sport. She's traveled the globe. She's covered the Olympics and worked for NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, ESPN, covering the biggest events in sports. She also created the Hannah Storm Foundation to raise funds for surgeries for children suffering from vascular anomaly. She's also battled major health issues of her own, suffering a severe burn and battling breast cancer. My favorite moment of getting to meet Hannah Storm, she was here on campus on a football Friday over at the EC, and she had just spoken to the crowd, and she came off, and we had a little segment that we called the Red Zone Remix, and we would, we thought had these great, quick-hitting, funny questions, and it was just personality-driven for fun. And one of the questions we asked, she is totally game for it. The biggest smile, greatest personality, biggest Notre Dame fan you'll ever see. And I asked a couple of silly questions, and one of them was, well, who is your favorite musician? And she says, Kendrick Lamar. I just went to his concert. Kendrick Lamar may not be familiar to everyone in here, but that is a rapper. He just did the Super Bowl halftime show last year. And I kind of smiled like, oh, and she said, I bet you didn't expect that, did you? And I said, no, I did not. And I think that's a great example of just her. She keeps you on your toes. She's never, ever what you expect. She goes above and beyond. And she has been a perfect example of a communicator and representative of the University of Notre Dame. And although she can't be here with us today, she did record a video for her acceptance.
Thank you so much for this award. Special thanks to Jim for all the time and effort that he puts into this event and the Knute Rockne Memorial Society. I sure wish I could be with y'all today, but I'm on the air at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut this afternoon. Just a few thoughts about the man that these awards are named after, who once said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." Rockne, of course, was known for his leadership, his integrity, and his sportsmanship on the field. But those qualities also extend off the field for today's award recipients. So what does sportsmanship look like in everyday life? Well, it looks like this: acknowledging the efforts and achievements of everyone involved in helping you achieve a goal, embodying fairness, respect, and integrity, even in those that you're competing against. Giving it your all, maintaining a positive attitude even in the face of obstacles, thanking people, shaking hands, winning with dignity, losing with grace, being supportive and offering positive reinforcement. These are Rockne-esque traits to strive for, to apply to our everyday lives. And I just want to say that one of the recipients today has done just that and has meant a lot to me personally. When I was diagnosed with cancer last year, one of the first people I heard from was Digger Phelps. He sent me holy medals and a prayer to say each day, and every single Tuesday, without fail, since that time, he has called me to tell me that he has gone to the grotto, lights a candle for me, never forgets. He always leaves a message, and I have come to learn that he does this for so many other people who need his prayers. He is devoted to serving others, to being positive, to cheering them on, to being a member of their team. Digger Phelps embodies everything that Knute Rockne stood for, and I'm honored to be recognized alongside him and the rest of you. Thank you.
Congratulations to Hannah Storm. And that leads us to our next guest, an honorary recipient today, Digger Phelps, our living legend. Let's take a look at our video.
Between the veteran Wooden and the electric young coach of the Irish. Notre Dame 71, UCLA 70 with 6 seconds left. Into Walton, he can't score. Cernovich, Myers, Fuming, it's all. Notre Dame upsets the apple cart and knocks off the #1 team in the country.
I took my time, I want to simply say, congratulations, Richard Digger Phelps. Your name is associated with the greatest, Knute Rockne. You deserve that honor, my friend. If he would have ever met you, he would have loved your spirit that you brought to the Golden Dome when you came from Fordham as you electrified the crowd as a young coach and won big in New York. And Notre Dame came calling, and oh baby, did you deliver. You delivered big time. What teams you had, special. Beating UCLA's 88-game win streak, Governor Marquette, and ended Al McGuire's home winning streak. Unbelievable. Great, great players. Digger, you made it all happen. With spirit, energy, enthusiasm, all the things that represent Knute Rockne and Notre Dame.
Digger Phelps, it's your old friend and colleague, Jay Billis, that there are two names in Notre Dame history that you think of automatically when you think of the Irish. One is Knute Rockne, and the other is Digger Phelps. You are a living legend, and you've been a Notre Dame great ever since you set foot on campus. You still are, you always will be. And you've been a tremendous influence in my life and all the lives of those you touched at ESPN and beyond. You're the best, Digger.
Not only do I care about Digger, I love Digger Phelps. Digger is family to me. My kids from a very young age have referred to him as Uncle Digger. When we started College Game Day, Jay Billis and I have said many times, that show does not survive if not for Digger Phelps. And I don't know that I've ever been around anyone who loves anything as much as Digger loves Notre Dame. He can give you a tour of that campus unlike any I've ever seen. The other thing that people might not know about Digger is he cares deeply about everybody around him. The various charitable efforts that he's been involved in South Bend to help people, and the private things that he does even to this day, going to the grotto and lighting candles for people that he cares about or loved ones of people that he cares about. And he still does that for my father once a week. My father died in 2014. But Digger, I love you, my brother. Congratulations on this. Nobody better than you.
We three Phelps kids are blessed and fortunate to have been raised at Notre Dame in the 70s and 80s. Running around campus, watching Dad coach with that trademark intensity. Notre Dame wasn't just where he worked, it is where we learned about life, loyalty, and faith. Growing up here has taught us that giving back and caring for others is just as important as winning. Dad being honored with the Knute Rockne Living Legend Award is special beyond. Because to us and to so many others who know you, Dad, you have always been a legend. We couldn't be more proud. We love you, Karen.
Digger, I'm so happy I can share this with you. I want to congratulate you on your Rockne Living Legends Award. I can admit now that I'm retired, but I've always been a lifelong Notre Dame fan since I was a little kid, and especially when you were coaching Notre Dame basketball. You did so much for all of us in coaching, especially me, inspiring me to be a coach and learning from you, and also from everyone at Notre Dame that appreciates everything you did for Notre Dame. Love you, buddy. Congratulations. Enjoy the night.
Hey, Digger, Tom Izzo here. Hey, I just want to say congratulations. I want to thank you for all you've done for college basketball and what you did for me, my kids, my family, when my father died, and having the special mass for us down on your beautiful campus, I'll never forget. So from all the coaches that are so appreciative of what you did and how you did it, I just want to say congratulations.
Digger, John Calipari, what you've done for the game of basketball, what you've done for Notre Dame. Proud of you, proud to call you a friend. Love you, brother.
Hey Paca, it's Ian. Just wanted to say congratulations on the Knute Rockne Living Legends Award.
Congrats on the Knute Rockne Living Legends Award.
We're all very proud of you. Love you.
Hey Paca, congratulations. Love you.
There's not a lot of people who embody the spirit and tradition of Notre Dame like you do, so congratulations.
Wow, that was so incredible. We invite Digger Phelps up to the stage, and also we invite our 2023 Communicator Award winner, a Notre Dame broadcasting legend in his own right, and even though he's retired, he's still got it. We welcome Jack Nolan to the stage as well.
Okay, I'm honored to be here. Some of you may remember that back in the 80s, I hosted the Digger Phelps Show, which was produced by fellow Rockne Award winner Karen Phelps. Basically, I just took the ball from Karen and handed it to Digger. I know that back in the 70s, a legendary sports writer with the Los Angeles Times, Jim Murray, won the Pulitzer Prize, said this about Digger. What Knute Rockne did for Notre Dame football, Digger did for Notre Dame basketball. I know you have always looked up to and gotten inspiration from Knute Rockne. What does this award mean to you?
Obviously, it's very special, Jack, and to be honored in the name of Rockne just is like, wow. It brings tears to my eyes. And I did have a few tears with that tape as well as the introduction. But more importantly, I think this whole place, Notre Dame, and what it stands for, and how powerful it is. Rockne did that. He took this little Catholic school here in the Midwest and then started to make it national. Some school called Southern Cal became the big rivalry, the national rivalry, and that taught me to have a rivalry in some school also in Los Angeles named UCLA. Yeah, many great moments when you take a look at what my 56 players who all have graduated and what they've done with life after basketball. I taught them leadership, and leadership are these characteristics. You've got to have creativity. You've got to be a risk taker. You got to have the right street smarts, and you got to know how to be a survivor. If you have those characteristics, that's leadership. I got one of those guys in here now, Scott Paddock, who is an example of what leadership really is. John Paxson with the Bulls for 17 years after he played. Stan Wilcox, who is now number 3 in the NCAA, and I can keep going on. But more importantly, Jack, I think it's the people that make Notre Dame what it is and how it is. And there's many priests in my great love, and I tell people I'm an apostle of Father Hesper, the godfather of the Civil Rights Act. And it's now been 10 years since he's deceased, and it's time, if Mother Teresa, as a nun, became a saint, well, the 10 years is up. It's time for us to get Father Hesburgh up for sainthood. So, Jack, you have been an inspiration as a commentator. And I love how I taught you how to do the Digger Phelps show. Introduced me, I talked a half hour, and Jack said, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week.
Easiest money I ever made. I was in my teens in the 70s in Boston, and every weekend when we turned on the TV, Notre Dame basketball was on TV, and Digger was a huge part with Eddie Einhorn and getting that all set up. But Notre Dame basketball was on TV more than football. And then I'm 22 years old in the early 80s, and I'm announcing Notre Dame games with Digger. And he could be very intimidating. But one day we're coming out of the Spectrum, and I've got my equipment. At that time, I did my engineering. And we didn't travel. We traveled on the flights, but not on the bus. And I'm walking down the steps, and he comes over and goes, where are you going? I said, I'm going to a hotel. You're coming with us. Get in the van. Pete, get his stuff. Well, Pete was Pete Gillen. He made Pete pick up my stuff, but that was his message to me. You know what? You've proved yourself, and you're one of us now. And so I got to see how you've noticed he talked about UCLA. He didn't talk about any other games. He didn't talk about numbers. He talked about teaching people how to be successful in life. He was always a Renaissance man. I remember the Vietnam Wall. One New Year's, it took the team to that. Wins were important to you, but making people into men was even more important.
Yeah, I think that's what's one of the misunderstandings today about college athletics, men and women, that they are there because the sport got them there. But what's more important is, what are they doing now after the game is over, after their campus is over? And I think that's what is so special about this place, is to see how many of them, not just in this country, make Notre Dame successful, but around the world making Notre Dame successful. And I think that when I look at what Father Hesburgh was as a priest, you know, at the age of 6, he wanted to become a priest. At the age of 16, he became a priest here at Notre Dame and never left until 10 years ago. And I go by his grave every day that I'm on campus over at the cemetery and pray for his soul to rest in peace. And the inspiration one or two people make in your life, doesn't matter if it's a priest or not a priest, but those are the people that make you change in a positive direction, to make a change for others in this game we live in today. Because as you know and I know, we've got a lot of issues around the world that we as people can help make a difference and bring the bad up to become the good.
This is what he did throughout the seasons. Back in 1985, we moved to 1986. A certain Miami football team had embarrassed a certain Notre Dame team coached by Jerry Faust in his last game. So we go down there. They're redoing their program. They actually played in the Knight Center. The court was on a stage in a theater, and Notre Dame starts to pull away. You scored 126 points in that game. Talk a little bit about that, your motivation for that game.
It was a payback because they embarrassed us in football. And I think, Jack, they beat us, what, by 52 in football, at least? And so I told the team before the game, and the starters before the game, if you don't believe we're going to win this game by 54, stay in the locker room, watch the game on TV, because we're going to get it done without you. So it came down, and this has got nothing to do with Catholics versus convicts. That was later. But this game, it comes down to where all of a sudden, there's about 30 seconds to go in the game. The game is tied, and we score that bucket. And what was so amazing, it was an afternoon game, and we flew back, got here on campus, back by Gate 6 behind the ACC. And as the bus pulls in, the football team is waiting for us to thank us for what we did for the payback. And those are things that make Notre Dame so special. And what was so special about Rockne, he just had that empowerment on and off the field to make a difference in issues, to make a difference in his players, and to make a difference in what made this campus become this little Catholic school in the Midwest, become this great powerhouse around the world, on and off the court or the field.
I got to add one footnote to that payback that most people don't know about. At the practice facility at Miami where they were practicing before the game, I happened to be at the gate with a couple of managers, including a young man named Ray Dagno. And Jimmy Johnson came up in his three-piece suit and his vest, and he's trying to come in. And Ray goes, I'm sorry, Coach, it's closed practice. No, I'm Jimmy Johnson. I'm here to see Coach. He goes, it's closed practice. No, and he starts to walk, and Ray puts and goes, no, it's a closed practice. Coach Phelps says, no one gets in. Digger's standing over, never turns around. He knows what's going on. He wouldn't let Jimmy Johnson into practice, and Jimmy had to walk away. One of the great moments of my life, because we were all hurt by that game.
To finish that story, I go to the student manager, and I said, what'd you do? He says, I told him practice is closed, and kicked them out. I wouldn't let them in. I said, what do you mean? Practice wasn't closed. No, it wasn't closed. He just wanted to kick out Jimmy Johnson because of Catholics versus convicts.
Digger's always had such great respect for Knute Rockne, and I know some of you know this, but you actually bought his Lake Michigan home.
Yeah, up in Stevensville. He had a home in Lake Michigan, and it was one of those classic moves. I didn't know, but the people that sold it to me told me that this was Knute Rockne's home at one time, and obviously He's got one over here, about 2 blocks away, the Rockne house, or the house that Rockne built. But those things happen to you in your life for a reason. And I think it's what we all have done, positive or negative, that has made the biggest influence on who we are today. But we're not done yet. And we've got to get our youngsters, especially, there's more to getting a GED. And I worked for President Bush in the White House for a year and ran Operation Weed and Seed, which meant to get the young gang leaders to stop killing each other. That was weed them out in the neighborhoods. And then Seed was to get them to vocational schools. Don't think you got to be a gang member because you're not going to be an engineer. You can become an electrician and still make $70,000, $80,000 a year. And I did that in the inner cities around the country and got into the gang leaders. And what was sad about it, we had 100 U.S. attorneys convinced to do this project and make it happen. And the year Bush lost the election, the guy that followed him, I forget his name, he canceled it. Canceled it. And the gangs got back in shooting and killing each other in the neighborhoods and stopped dropping out of becoming vocational, become an electrician. Don't worry about being an electrical engineer. Worry about who's going to shoot you next. And that was like, are you kidding me? And that was very sad.
Digger and first President Bush were so close. President Bush was traveling the country for his re-election and doing TV interviews. And they pull up to WNDU to do interviews with East Coast stations in drive time. And the limo pulls up, the whole entourage pulls up, and all the TV cameras are there. And the door opens, and out jumps Digger out of the limo, waving and walking in. Digger ran interference for President Bush. Digger got out the door the president normally gets into, so the president could sneak around the back uninterrupted and get into the TV station. That was one of the great plays I've ever seen executed.
No, he was a very special friend. I actually met him in a charity golf tournament in the early 70s in Dayton, Ohio, Bogey Busters. And we just became friends, stayed friends. And then when he got elected, I said, I want to work for you. And so he brings me into the White House, and he wants me to go over to the Department of Education, which I did. But the next day I go back and say, I don't want to work there. I don't understand what they're trying to do and how they're doing it. Give me something else. And that's when we started Operation Weed and Seed. Because of basketball in the inner city, the brothers knew me because of hoops. And so that was the entry to get into them to say, you're going to vocational school and understand that, which most of them did. And probably, well, that was 50 years ago. Some of them are still alive because of that and how it happened.
Lincoln School, South Bend.
Lincoln, yeah. That was one of the first schools that I took over and put a little money into a program, which I did around the country, and about 5 different schools around the country set the example to get them started in the vocational areas. And then to get these kids after school programs working with an electrician, mentoring programs, to get them so that they got the idea in their head while they're still going to school and get that education and keep them motivated to get a career after high school. Don't worry about going to college. Don't worry about that kind of money. You can still survive and live a comfortable life.
You know, a lot of people believed that Digger and John Wooden didn't like each other, but that couldn't be farther from the truth.
No, what was so cool about that, Wooden, of course, coached here in South Bend Central High School for like 16 years. And then he went to, he was from Martinsville, Indiana. Played basketball at Purdue, ended up at Indiana State, and then to UCLA. But what was so amazing about him and being around him, the last year of his life, I called him up every Tuesday. What was amazing, we were in Philadelphia, Linda and me, for another reason. And I got a phone call 11:30 that night that John Wooden had died, and this radio station wanted me to do the interview. And I did, and he was such a good man. And when we'd play out there, he retired, and I'd still see him in the stands. Or if I was doing television on ESPN, I'd go over and say hello to him. And what was so amazing about us playing in Pauley Pavilion back when, I'll never forget this, 3,000 students would do the theme of the Lone Ranger and get into Pauley Pavilion. And the student section was across from the court. And after a while, I'd come out before the teams would come out. And 3,000 students would start to boo me. And I'd go, "You're not loud enough," and turn around and walk back to get them really on me during the game, not the team. So there was a sign that the student section put up, and it's still out there in the cheerleader room, folded up. "Digger is a wimp. Digger is a wimp." And that sign is still there in Pauley Pavilion. And, you know, you create your moments. Yeah, I grew up in the Hudson Valley near West Point. And I wrote that letter in 1965 to Era when I was at St. Gabe's High School, telling them I love Notre Dame, the essence of Notre Dame, and what you're doing in football someday I want to do in basketball. But at the same time, that journey, 6 years later, at the age of 29, I'm here at Notre Dame. And so that dream became a reality. But what I want to say to each one of you today, your dream is a reality because your life you're living now as an adult is helping us make change to make this a better world. So thank you. God bless you. And what did somebody just yell? Oh, go Irish!
Thank you, Digger.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. You talk about tough acts to follow. That is a tough one right there. Our final award recipient of the day is our Champion Award going to Bryant Young.
Bryant Young was a head coach's dream. Whether it's by example or with his voice or he runs the locker room. He's an extension of the coaching staff. He is the leader. He's the face and the voice of your organization.
Go out there and play with confidence, be courageous, be fearless, okay? It's gonna be a physical game. Take it to him, man. Let's get it done today. Let's get it done. I love you guys, man. I just want to say that. Yeah, I'm depending on everyone in this locker room, and depend on me.
Welcome to the greatest institution known for a football player, the NFL Hall of Fame, baby!
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Bryant Young for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I'll close with some lessons I've learned along the way. From my pain, I found purpose. Letting someone grab my hand is as important as reaching for theirs. In an isolated world, personal connections matter more than ever. I keep my gaze on Christ and pour myself into good works, including the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. And I've learned to trust God's plan and timing, not mine. Excuse me. Thank you. I had the privilege of going last, and that's very fitting. I've always gone last, which has kept me very humble. Name begins with the Y, and alphabetically, it keeps me in the right place. But I just want to say that I am so grateful for all the recipients of today's award, the Knute Rockne Spirit of Sports Award, and to the Knute Rockne Memorial Society. Thank you for putting this awesome event on and allowing me to be a part of it. And I'm incredibly blessed to all the recipients for the things that they have accomplished in their lifetime. Dr. Bill Hurd, you're an amazing saxophone player. I'm super jealous, I must say, because I aspired to have played like that, but I left that and tried to play the bass. If I can get up here today and play the bass and not talk, I would have done that, but I'm gonna speak instead. You probably would have ran away if I would have played. Digger, I want to say something. Hannah mentioned it in her video. Digger, I want to thank you. You reached out to me in a time of pain and gave me hope, gave me encouragement to let me know that you cared and you weren't in the fight alone when my son was battling a deadly disease. So Digger, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done and the words that you have spoken into my life at such a dire time. Thank you, Digger. To the Chapman family, my condolences. I am with you and I understand your pain. Unfortunately, we are in the club that no one wants to sign up for or be in. And to the hockey team, you are an inspiration to so many. Thank you for giving such a young spirit hope and a place to escape. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy and allowing a young Rudy to be in a place that gave him hope. You know, my high school wrestling coach used to call me champ, and only because I wrestled and he felt like I should have won the state title at some point, and I didn't. I fell short, but he would always call me champ. And I think that was really prophetic, you know, because champ to me, or champion, is really not about the accolades that we acquire over time, but it's about when we are facing adversity, we continue to get up. It's about the character that's built in time of adverse and disparity. And so I am deeply at a loss for words right now. And this award, to be given this award and be mentioned in the same breath as Knute Rockne, to such an iconic name and one that I admire for so many years, to be given this award and mentioned in the same breath as Knute Rockne, it's one of the best honors I could ever have. When we put our eyes to our work and our heads down, we put the blinders on. Never do we, at least for me, never do I set my eye on achieving a certain thing. And so we just do. And I have done for a long time. And when we have a moment where we have an injury, a loss of life, we have to continue to get up. And to me, that's what a champion is getting up when you get knocked down.
over and over and over and over and over again. We got to keep getting up. It's not about wins or losses. It's about character. It's about staying faithful. It's about having hope when in times of hopelessness. It's about crawling when you can't walk. And so, thank you for this award. Thank you for this wonderful place that has meant so much to me, the University of Notre Dame. Because of this amazing man, Knute Rockne, so much of this game has developed because of the things that he has built over time. And so I'm a beneficiary of that. I stand on the shoulders of so many different people that have come before me that have built the game of football. And I want to say thank you to all those people who have allowed me to flourish and be the best that I could possibly be. And nobody does it alone. And for me to stand up here and say, yay, look at me, I would do everyone that has impacted my life a disservice. My family, friends, coaches, ownership, school, everyone that has meant so much to me had a piece of shaping me in some shape, form, or fashion. And so because of them, they allowed me to be who I am. And so I'm grateful for everyone that has been a part of my village. I talked about my village in my Hall of Fame speech, and the village is important to me. Community is important to me. And so I'm grateful that I have a community of people that have allowed me to be who I am and to grow. Things haven't always been perfect, but we learn. And I'll leave you with this. You know, there's an old guy that I had a chance to be around for 4 years here at the University of Notre Dame, and Lou Holtz, and he would always tell us, you know, talk about trust, love, and commitment. And then he would also talk about his golden rules, and that was do the right thing. And there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Do things to the best of your ability. And then show people that you care. And so what I want to leave you with today as we leave this place is, as I talked to Mike, we had a really good conversation in a short period of time, is get in proximity. I want you to taste. I want you to see. I want you to feel where God may lead you to be a part of something greater than ourselves. Because in this world today, we need that. We need to be a little bit more compassionate. We need to provide more hope for people. We need to champion others, and we need to be champions. So as we leave here, I want you to touch somebody that you haven't had a chance to touch before. I want you to inspire somebody you haven't had a chance to inspire, and bring hope to something that's bigger than ourselves. So thank you for this awesome opportunity to be here. I am humbled and I am honored to receive this award, and grateful for all of you for being here today. And thank you, and God bless you.
We thank you all for being here today, being a part of this historical event. This has become a tradition here in South Bend every year, and we are grateful for you for being a part of it and for honoring and recognizing all of our honorees and sharing your love with them. Thank you all for being here. At this time, we would like to ask for all of our award recipients to come up on stage or in front of the stage so we can take a nice big group photo together. And then I remind you that as you're leaving today, please feel free to take a lap around the museum and check out the Knute Rockne Memorial exhibit here. It is very, very cool. Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll see you next year. Go Irish.